Hi guys, let's talk about the beginning of May. All right, this is the way these videos are going to go. I'm front loading all of the individual signs with the astrology. I'm time stamping. I'm going to time stamp for the astrology. The astrology and the aspects are going to be the same for all the signs. So if you're watching for your sun or your rising, your moon, your Venus, whatever it is now, and you want to check one of your other signs, just go into the description box and you could just click forward to ahead to the tarot portion, because there are going to be 3 sections, okay, for each of the signs. So there's going to be astrology, and then there's going to be career, and then there's going to be a relationship read. All right, so each of those sections are going to be timestamped. Well, the astrology won't be because I'm starting with that, but then I'm going to timestamp for the career and the relationship just for your ease, and so you don't have to sit through the whole video and all the astrology each time and go searching for all of that stuff, okay? So I hope that helps you guys out. But I always like to start with the astrology, guys. You know, my heart is with tarot, but it's also with astrology, right? So I can't separate the two. So I want to just talk about, we're just going to be dealing with the first week of May right now, okay? And so we had some big aspects coming on, and hallelujah, May is going to be so much better than flipping April. It really is. We have a very, very positive full moon happening on the 7th, so I just wanted to talk about that. Now, on the 3rd, on May 3rd, that's the only little bit of a, I'm just going to call it a little bit of a wonky energy. It's Venus square Neptune. Venus is great. Venus, obviously, we talked a lot about Venus yesterday in my Venus video. I'm going to link that above and in the description box, by the way, having to do with Venus retrograde. But Venus is going to be square Neptune. And remember, Neptune is all about illusory and not feeling firmly footed. So we have Venus in there, which is about love and having to do with money and having to do with our self-esteem. So it's like feeling foggy about those things. It's not going to be a very long energy that we're going to have to deal with, and everything else is really positive, but let's just give it a little, a little attention, just so that if you guys are feeling this way, you know that that's what it is, and you're not like losing your mind or spiraling down into a deeper state of depression or whatever you might be feeling right now, which, you know, guys, a lot of people are dealing with those, anxiety, depression. You know, it's a weird world we live in right now, right? All right, so Venus square Neptune on May 3rd. So Venus is, again, it's about love, money, self-esteem in general, but especially love and money. And Neptune is that ruler of the 12th house. It's Pisces house. It's the house of self-undoing. And that could easily make us, on the one hand, feel very victimized, right? And on the other hand, very unclear, since Neptune really is this ungrounded energy, and it really is trying to look at life through like a dirty window or a fog, kind of, right? So there's just not going to be a lot of clarity in the beginning of May, having to do with love and having to do with career. So just know that, okay? Because what ends up happening is, and the reason I say fog, because you know when you look through a fog or a dirty window, you kind of see what's there, but not really. And then what do we do as human beings? We end up filling in what we don't understand, and we fill in information to satisfy ourselves, but we can often be wrong in this energy. So just be mindful of that. So Venus square Neptune transit can lead to feelings of insecurity about yourself, even how you look, guys, like how you look, you know, because Venus is about beauty. It's about the external. So it's possible that you might feel that others are looking at you or thinking about you in a strange way, but please know that this isn't real. And any impressions like this are just going to be very distorted and won't be matching reality. So this wonky, I'm just going to call it poor self-image, can easily lead to relationship difficulties, right? Where you maybe think your partner is looking at you or thinking about you or seeing you in a certain light, and you're not feeling comfortable with it. And this could be a situation where you might be projecting some insecurities onto your relationship. And in the same way, you could also experience disappointments in your love life by forming a distorted image of someone else. And we've been kind of talking about that in the past couple of videos, where we end up projecting onto somebody what we really want them to be, and rather than maybe who they are or who they're even capable of being, and then that can end up leading to frustration. So if you're going through that, you know, just be mindful. It's just Venus square Neptune. And there's also a tendency to over-idealize romantic interest at this time, right? Really ignoring the obvious flaws that are kind of in plain sight because we have rose-colored glasses on. And, you know, I mean, we talked a lot with the Venus retrograde. as soon as the shadow starts, Venus is going to be like, here, put these rose-colored glasses on. So we just have to be a little careful of that. But regardless, situations leave you susceptible, having to do with love, to major disappointments, where you're either disappointed or maybe you feel like you're being taken advantage of, or you're being treated like a doormat in some way. But this is the thing. If you're in a healthy relationship, this is really, really short-lived, because assuming that if you're in a relatively normal, whatever the hell that means, but relationship where there's mutual respect, you're going to be able to talk about how you feel. So there's going to be that open communication. So you might be feeling it for a minute, but it's nothing that communication's not going to be able to solve. Now, if you're not in a really trusting relationship, this could be a little more problematic, and matters of trust can easily become an issue. And guys, I do want to say, and this is no judgment at all, but if you're thinking about starting an affair at this time, depending on where you live, depending on the quarantine situation, and I'm even talking about like online kind of affairs, not smart, since it's going to be really difficult to hide and you're going to get busted. So, because remember, Venus goes shadow and goes retrograde. It doesn't go retrograde till the middle of the month, but it's going to be going shadow to shadow the middle of the month. And that's where the lights are just going to start to become brighter and brighter and brighter, having to do with anything that's like shady, okay? So if you're not in a relationship or a solid relationship, you can feel this incredible need for honest tenderness, just an affection, right? So your desire for this is going to end up lifting these energetic blocks that you may be having that you don't even realize, because you don't even realize when we put these energetic blocks up, right? These energetic do not disturb, right? Because my heart's still broken, or do not disturb because I'm choosing to still have feelings for somebody else. Those are going to kind of be lifted, but you have to stay conscious of this very confusing Neptunian influence. I'm not saying not to get involved with anybody, just be careful. Again, even like I mentioned, having to do with Venus retrograde, that reality is actually what it is, and that you're not filling in or seeing things that aren't there. Because it would be great if you can wait until after this transit before committing yourself in a new way, or being too trusted to somebody new. And that goes for the newness element, not obviously if you're in a relationship again. Poor self-esteem and lack of self-discipline in this energy big time. So it can be really difficult to stay on that diet, to maybe not drink so much, any kind of partying, anything like that. Shopping therapy, getting online, right, and doing some shopping therapy, anything that makes you feel good. You just more, it's going to be harder for you to control this. You're definitely going to be more susceptible to the depressive influences of alcohol during this energy, and more susceptible to poisoning in general, guys. I mean, I'm not a fear monger. I don't like that. Also, I just want to take this opportunity to say, stay away from fear-mongering sites. These people who are just like all about doom and gloom and everything. Guys, life is cyclical. We are human beings. We are strong. We're resilient. We're going to get past all of this stuff. And if you hyper-focus on any of the negative aspects having to do with readings, or any of the, the negative news that you hear, like attracts like, right? So you don't want to really swim in negativity. You just don't want to do that. All right. But that being said, I do have to remind us, right, that Venus being in square with Neptune does rule disease, right? It's a Pisces energy, and viruses, right? Anything that kind of like hides sort of underneath the surface. So you just want to be a little careful now, because addiction is definitely more likely. Like if you were to dabble in drugs, it's much easier in this energy to become addicted. If you weren't a big drinker beforehand, but you're starting to drink more, that maybe you're out of work or working differently, it's the energy is like can really suck you down that rabbit hole. So just be careful of anything like that, any kind of potential overdoing. Let's just leave it there. Okay, so now let's go on to a couple of things that are way more, if you want to say, positive and less challenging. Not that one's going to be that challenging, because it's not going to be that long-lived, but that's the most challenging of the week. So we're going to have Sun conjunct Mercury on May 4th. So this is going to put a focus on your thinking and communications. You're going to be very, very busy mentally. We're all going to be very busy mentally. All right. Your mind will be on, what idea is going to favor you the most? What path is going to bring you where you really want to go? Really kind of feeling very comfortable making decisions in this energy, and as far as like, particularly having to do with the pragmatics of your life, right? So I just feel like, clearing out paperwork and bills. You're going to be receiving letters and sending emails, and a lot of us are going to start feeling a little more ready to socially distance and do it responsible, but to get out around town, even if it's just for like short little trips, we're going to start to feel ready to do that. Because Mercury rules communication, thinking patterns, rationality, reasoning, right? Remember, Mercury rules Gemini, but also rules Virgo. And Virgo is like a very pragmatic sign. It's like, all right, what do we have to do? So you're really going to be in that space. Also, primary and secondary education, your neighborhood, siblings, cousins, short distance, transport, like I mentioned, news and information. These things are all ruled by Mercury, right? And so the sun is hanging in there with these ideas. So you're probably going to be talking a lot to some family, your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, doing a lot of exchange having to do with education. Those of us who are in higher ed, who are teachers, we're getting ready for our end of the semester. Those, our students are getting ready for studying for finals, or doing those, in my case, those final essays and all of that. So lots of busyness there. You're going to be just very fast, lively, adaptable, very almost in an unemotional and curious way. You're just going to be like sucking in information. So I really like it. You're going to want to, just have conversations on topics that interest you, because hello, that's Mercury. It's the intellect, right? It's all of that. So this is a great time to make plans to start business deals, to bargain and sell. This is a great week to do a bit to engage in a business deal. It really, really is. Even though Mercury is going to be going retrograde in Gemini, which is ruled by Venus is going to, did I say Mercury? Venus is going to be going retrograde in Gemini, which is ruled by Mercury in the middle of the month. But you could start something here that you've already begun the process on, in particular. Especially if you've already, brand spanking new, maybe not so much. But if you've been thinking about it, really good energy to do that. Then on the 7th, we have Mercury sextiling Neptune. We like when the planets have sex. It's good for us. It's very benefic. So this is good for relaxation, creativity, communication, anything spiritual. So for those of you who are going through, Libras in particular, going to be going through this in this energy, like spirituality pursuits, thinking about things, looking at life in a different way. Great energy to be doing that. Your words can be very soothing and can actually become healing to others, to each other. There's just going to be this sense of calming about this. All of your senses become very acute, enabling you to pick up a lot of extra information through your intuition, right? Because Mercury communication and Neptune rules Pisces, that, the eldest water sign. It's about intuition full force. So you might even be receiving a lot of messages through your dreams, through very serendipitous circumstances, but through your higher consciousness. Really nice. Chance encounters, hearing from somebody you haven't heard from in a while. Great time to do anything creative. I mean, anything from writing, artwork, anything differently that you do. We could be creative with anything that we do. So it's just a very, how do I want to say, a time of epiphanies and beautiful rolling out of these seeds that you've been cultivating, and your subconscious are going to pop up to your conscious mind, and you're really going to want to really push things forward. So I really like that. You're going to feel so ready for socializing in this energy. Absolutely. And relationships are really going to benefit in this energy as well. Very compassionate, very spiritual. There's a spiritual and compassionate element about this transit, so I do like it. Now we have to talk about the last thing that I want to mention for the week. Scorpio full moon on Thursday the 7th is the first positive moon phase for 6 weeks. Yes. This has a very spiritual, a very healing, a very compassionate influence, because Mercury sextiling Neptune in there as well. It's just like, wow. And Scorpio is that deep water sign ruled by Neptune, which is all about changes and transformation and allowing cycles to end to allow beautiful cycles to begin. Now, that doesn't mean the ending of things. It means the ending of a cycle. So it doesn't have to mean the ending of that relationship, or it doesn't have to mean totally the ending of that job. It's going to resonate with everyone a little differently. But generally, people are going to be more sympathetic and understanding in this energy, and it'll make you more sensitive and better able to understand any areas that you have conflicting emotions in, which isn't that awesome, right? Clarity is always a friend, right? But importantly, it's really going to help you to see a brighter future, which is awesome. Things are just going to start to feel and look a little brighter, like you see the light at the end of the tunnel for, the end of the virus, right? They're calling the new normal, whatever the heck you want to call it, is really going to start to make sense. And we're going to start to feel a little more comfortable about taking those chances and doing things responsibly as a people, responsibly. Trusting that people are just not going to be irresponsible, But what does this full moon mean? Sun opposite moon brings your home, your family, intimate relationships into sharper focus for the following 2 weeks of this moon phase. Opposing forces such as work versus home, even if you're working from home, which working from home, I find it kind of like weird to balance out, like, am I working? Am I not working? I'm like putting dinner on while I'm like working, and it's just like, it's strange. So you're going to be looking at that balance, not in a bad way, in a good way, in like a problem solving way. So I do like that. And what you need versus what you want, right? A lot of us are going to be in that phase, creating this inner tension and external pressures, or any area where there's a creation of internal versus external pressures is going to be looked at right now, and in a really positive way. Now, you just want to be careful. For a minute, this could lead to conflict and crisis that drain your energy, but it's only because you're doing some really good active thinking. So it's more of like a mental kind of drain, but it's not bad. It's good because it's towards something good. But if you're feeling extra tired, I always say that in full moon energies, unless you have natal retrogrades in, like a Cancer energy in the 4th house, you might feel really more energetic during a full moon. But generally speaking, most people feel kind of tired. You just do. So let's talk about a couple of aspects going on here. We have the full moon opposite Mercury. This makes the understanding and communication, your feelings, a major theme in this phase. Inner conflicts between your thoughts and feelings might occur. You might feel kind of polarized in your thinking. That's completely natural now. It really, really is, because the moon is I feel, and Mercury is communication. So it's what you feel deep inside, and it's how you're communicating with the external world. But this is good, because this is really going to be helping you to get in touch with areas that there are imbalance. Misunderstandings and arguments can happen, but the harmonious aspect of Neptune reduces this. So even though that might be happening where there might be some conflict, Neptune comes in and is just like, okay, kids, I'm the dreamer. Let's just take a deep breath and just meditate. I'm joking, but you know what I mean. It kind of soothes the influence a little bit, which I do like. This is a really good moon for spending time in reflection, talking to really good friends about how you feel, getting in touch with where you sense you're holding back in life, whether that has to do with your job or relationship, with your sense of self, anything. Now, this full moon trine Neptune heightens your emotions, imagination, creativity. This reduces anxiety and makes misunderstandings less likely. And if disagreements do occur, this harmonious and compassionate and very spiritual influence is going to incite forgiveness. It's going to incite cooler heads prevailing. It's just going to diffuse things really quickly, and which is great because we haven't had an influence like this in a while, to be honest. You may dream up or fantasize about an ideal partner, but are just as likely to meet somebody special now. So whether it's in your fantasy mind or in real life, relationships formed during this new moon phase have a very soulmate feel to them. Very soulmate feel. So friends may come to you for advice during this energy as well, a shoulder to cry on. You know, maybe you're dealing with some friends who are, you know, struggling right now, either with the virus or with money. You know, and again, I say that as a New Yorker because a lot of us know people who have the virus now because we're just so slammed with it. But I know a lot of you guys are super fortunate in places where it's been better contained. But regardless, your caring, sympathetic side is very enhanced during this new moon energy. A lot of empathy, a lot of caring, and it's going to come very naturally, so really nice. And then finally, we have Mercury sextiling Neptune. It's virtually exact. So this is occurring just 3 minutes before the full moon, so very close there. So this positive aspect far outweighs the challenging influence of the full moon opposite Mercury. Any of those little snafus that I said about communication, this outweighs it. So yeah, just generally people are going to be good during this energy. Very sympathetic, understanding. You're going to be very sensitive, especially those of you who, I don't know, as we say, are awake, are in touch, are spiritually aware. You're going to feel very sensitive to the vibrational energies going on now, to other people in your environment. Man, especially those water signs, right? Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, you're going to be vibing the energy a lot around you. Not in a bad way, in a good way. You're going to be able to sort of, and it's going to be helpful to the people in your life because you're going to be able to tap into your intuition in a way where you're just going to be able to sense if somebody needs something. Right? Which is really beautiful. So I do like this. And, you know, generally, we're all going to be feeling a more idealistic view of the world. Now, that has a lot to do with, okay, I mean, Mercury sextiling Neptune, but I have to say that also, you know, Venus is going to be retrograde. So there's going to be some, you know, sweet-colored rose juice thrown on everything, you know, right now, which is nice. You know, you could trust your feelings right now, guys. Seriously, like, we're all going to be feeling very sensitive. And trust your feelings, right? Because this aspect gives Mercury sextile Neptune gives very accurate intuition and perception skills, which I really like. A lot of you guys are going to be tapping into your psychic abilities where you're going to sense something before it happens. You're going to sense somebody reaching out to you before they do. You're going to be sensing these things. Lots of dreams here, lots of dreams with messages. So if you're remembering your dreams, really sit down with yourself quietly and think through. If you want, write it out, but figure out what message is trying to be sent to you, given to you in that moment. Yeah. I mean, I really like it. Very healing energy, very healing, great for romance, great for intimacy, great for feeling connected. And if nobody's in your life, you could be feeling super tight with your kids, really close to your friends, just very up in your feels in a positive way about everything. And again, last little bit, this is a great full moon. For those of you who are creatively inclined, artistically inclined, writers, anything, great pursuits for energy to pursue things like literature, drama, poetry, singing. In the same way, relaxation, yoga, meditation. Great. This is a great time, guys. For those of you who never believed in meditation, were never on board with it, didn't get it, couldn't relax well enough to stay in place to do it. I get it. We've all been there at one point, right? Before we learn the process. So this is a great energy to do it. And there are so many great videos that can help you through that. So why not, right? If you have the time, why not? All right, guys, that is the astrology section. So now I'm going to go pull signs. Pull cards for each of your signs, okay? See you guys on the other side. Okay, bye-bye. Hi, Scorpio. Let's get right into your career read. Let's see what's going on for Scorpio friends having to do with career for the first week in May 1st through 7th. Please let us know the situation. Any seeds that are being planted right now that Scorpio needs to understand in this energy. Okay. Okay, situation right now. Okay, really trying to figure out what it is that you believe, think, and feel regarding career right now. Just being a little bit in the dark. So we have Two of Swords coming into this energy. So this is a very much a pause button, first of all. Lots of confusion, feeling like you don't know the full truth. You don't know the full story of a situation. Lots of question marks lingering in the air. Whenever we have a sword, swords of truth, swords of communication, right? And in the reverse, this can indicate either communication is not coming in having to do with your career, or there's a lack of clarity surrounding your career. And it could really just be that the person, people that you're working for or with just simply don't have information at this point, right? Obviously, and listen, I mean, all the readers, as readers, right, we all should be inflecting the COVID energy onto the understanding of what might be happening for sure, right? So being in this space, though, of course, purpose is with yourself and really not knowing, okay, so now what? You know, what is my truth exactly here? Because Two of Swords energy is Moon in Libra. So Moon is I feel, and in the reverse, your feelings are coming to the surface. And Libra being ruled by Venus, Venus is a money planet. It has to do with love, but it has to do with money as well and self-esteem. So you're in this space of really like, okay, what am I going to do, right? All of these emotions are rising to the top, like getting real with yourself, Scorpio. What am I going to do, kind of thing. Situation right now, we have the Strength reverse. So whenever we have the Strength reverse, guys, keeping it real, it's about ego. You know, there's egotism here. There's a challenge in letting something go so that you can move forward. And it's being crossed by the Faith reverse. So this is a Taurus energy in reverse. This is you questioning front and center what it is that you feel that you want in a relationship. Because whenever we have the Faith cards, this is the Hierophant energy, and that's where our the way we view our reality hangs out. What we view as being the right thing for ourselves, our belief system, society's belief system. You know, what is it that we should be doing right now in our lives? And in the reverse, this is you revisiting that. So it's on the one hand, you're opening yourself up to a new way of thinking regarding your career, but at the same time, you're feeling very held back by what it is that you were doing. There's this struggle to let go of something that was, because you still want to do something, but at the same time, you're being pushed, right? The Hierophant reverse, with the Faith reverse, you're being pushed to look at something differently. Nine of Cups in reverse. This is, you know, whatever you're in right now, whatever situation's going on in your career right now is not going to bring you to your wish fulfillment. That's the Nine of Cups energy, right? And that is, you know this, because this is crowning the energy. This is in your higher consciousness. Now, in really deep inside of yourself, though, we have this Hangman energy, and it's in reverse. So you want to be careful of this energy, because the Hangman is ruled by Neptune. Neptune is that 12th house Piscean energy, and in reverse, this can indicate very much a victim mentality. So you want to be careful of you feeling very deep down. And listen, if you lost your job because of this situation, that through no fault of your own, or you're working differently and you don't like how you're working differently, or, you know, however this whole thing has impacted your career, I'm getting that you're going to be feeling deep down this almost unrelenting feeling of, it's just not fair. Why did this happen to me? Why did this, you know, it's like that victim mentality. And that sounds very negative, but what we all have the potential to get into that space sometimes. So you just want to be careful of that, right? Because you just need to recognize that whatever's been going on, it's not, you know, it's not going to be your wish fulfillment. You know, you have to do things differently. But I sense this holding on, and this holding on to this idea of things not being different. And, you know, listen, Scorpio, you know, I said this in one of my last videos, and a lot of Scorpios got very angry with me that I said this, and it's never a shade on any of the archetypes. Every archetype has their beautiful aspects and their challenges, and I'm going to call it challenges. It's not even like the bad side. It's not. And I just have to say, because I'm getting this feeling very strongly here, there's almost an obsession and a rumination about the lack of fairness that's happened in your career. And it's this rumination that's going to end up keeping you stuck. Because, guys, wherever Scorpio hangs out, and if it's in your sun, wherever it is, your sun, your rising, your moon, your Venus, whatever it is, that's where obsessions hang out. And that is not always a negative thing, right? I have Scorpio in my 5th, right? Which is about, my house of fun and what I love to do, right? So, and my passion since I'm 14 years old has been tarot and astrology. So I take it to the nth degree, right? By, making it something that I spend almost all of my free time doing, right? When I'm not working at my regular job as a professor, right? So that's an example here, right? Where you get into the space of holding tight to something and really trying to really extricate yourself out of it because you have to, but it's this rumination that's going to be going on having to do with your career, right? So then we have the 8 of coins, right? So the 8 of coins is this idea of, and this is you right now, very getting front and center with your money, right? Getting front center with your money, right? Virgo's a pentacle energy. Virgo's also about communication. Okay? So the sun in there, the sun is you're looking for ideas. You're looking for some sort of illumination, right? Within everything that's going on in your life right now. You're looking for the ideas. You're looking for something that resonates with you, right? Because the sun, the sun wants you to resonate with it. And you want to feel passionate about it, right? So you're in this space of just trying to figure out what is going to bring me to, what's going to end up transitioning me into that next phase, right? Because Virgo's ruled by Mercury. Mercury, from an alchemical perspective, is very much about transitioning and transformation. Forward, right? It's bringing you into that next phase in the short term. Like, okay, what am I going to do next week or the week after? What am I going to do for money? What am I going to do for career? Where am I going? And you're going to be doing a lot of thinking about this. Lots of thinking about money, obviously, right? Queen of Swords energy in the reverse is an external energy to you. So this tells me that you just don't know all the information. You're not being offered the full truth of a situation if you're being offered any information at all. So this is you feeling like, how can I, and this could be from an external energy. Now, this could be from your employer. This could be just, from the government, right? Or just from society. All of the restrictions, and you just not knowing. So it's like, I almost feel like you're trying to, you have to do something different. You're not fully letting go of what it was that you were doing. But in the same way, you're like, how am I supposed to move forward when I don't know all the information? I have no idea what the world is going to be like next week. So how am I going to do that? So it's this lack of information that's coming in that's really troubling you. But what I do like that this is in the upright. Because this is you still looking for the answers. Despite whatever you're feeling emotionally, you're still recognizing that you have to look forward. But it's hard to look forward when you see nothing but fog, right? And that really is kind of the energy that's happening now. Your fear is the King of Swords. I mean, this is your fear. Your fear is the truth of the situation coming out in the biggest way. Your fear is the truth being something very differently. Now, breaking it down very specifically here, this is a Capricorn, which rules work, and Aquarius, which is ruled by Uranus. It's about doing things differently. So this tells me that you're afraid of doing work differently. And this is your fear right now. Because you don't know what's on the other side of that. You're just not sure. And then we have the Lover's energies, the outcome here. And whenever we have the Lover's energy, this indicates the shadow side of your personality coming out to play in a way that is not going to end up serving you or the purpose. Now, this could certainly be, the Lover's energy could be you dealing with both sides of yourself. This could be you dealing with your boss, your employer, your employee, your business partner, whoever it is that you associate with in your career, where the shadow aspects of each of you end up coming out, where you guys are not supporting each other. And Scorpio, because you're so intuitive and you're going to be extra intuitive during this energy, something is not being handled right. That there's some sort of shady behavior going on. There's something not fair that's going on here. Yeah. And the near future here is Six of Wands, which tells me that You're not going to feel understood. You're not going to be able to have this forward movement. You're not going to have the success that you've been looking for, you know, because the Six of Wands in the upright is about respect, and it's about success, and you're not feeling either of these things, right, in what it is that you're doing right now. Yeah. But it's hard to let go of. You know what it is, too? I think, you know, because first of all, I mean, you guys are clearly the deepest water sign. To me, I think so. Okay, I think so. Definitely the deepest water sign. And I think that in response to trying to figure out all of the new changes that are going on, trying to process this and simulate the quickness of how it's all gone. You guys are ruled by Pluto, which is all about endings and beginnings, right? You are all about that. But because you're a water sign, it's things need to make sense to you on a certain level. And this just doesn't make sense to you. Yeah, Two of Cups reverse. It's like right there with the Lover's reverse card, you know. But then we have the Three of Cups, so I like that. All right. Seven of Wands in reverse. All right, yeah, you know what? I like this. Three of Cups, this is a nice energy. This is a Mercury and Cancer energy. There's going to be communication coming in. I do like that. Seven of Wands is you being tired of not being understood. You're just feeling like, I'm tired of not feeling understood. I'm tired of this waiting. I'm tired of this not moving forward, right? You're just not wanting to defend yourself anymore. You're just not wanting to do it. Right? You recognizing you're not going to have this building. Feel like Three of Pentacles, Three of Coins is the Architect card, right? It's the ability to build yourself in something. So it's not going to be happening. Page of Coins, Sons of the Cups, beautiful. Nice. And you know what? I'm not mad at the Four of Coins in reverse at all. You're going to be holding on to your money. You're going to be holding on to your money while you start something new. That's it. Three of Cups, this is a really nice energy, guys. Seriously. This is nice. You know why I like this? Because whatever it is that you end up doing, it has a Cancer vibe to it. It's got a Cancer energy, right, connected to astrology. And Cancer rules that fourth house of home, which is all about safety and it's security. So I like it because whatever you're going to end up doing is going to bring you security that you're very much craving right now. And I feel like many of you haven't had in a while. So I do like that. And the Page of Coins is a new cycle, right? New cycle with money. This is a new job offer. Or the offer of doing something differently within a career that you've either done before, where you're going to be doing it differently. In other words, you're going to have a different path, a new cycle offered to you, but it's definitely not going to be the same thing. So I do like it. Listen, there's change here. There's change here. So let it happen. Let it happen. Try not to dig your heels too deeply in. I don't think it's really going to serve you in this energy, Scorpio. You know, just embrace the change. Embrace the change the best that you can, because I feel like it's going to end up working out for you very nicely. But whatever it was specifically that you were doing, you're not going to be going back to that, but you're going to be offered something new. So this can be something new and something that you used to do, or this could be something new, a new way of doing what it is that you've been doing. That makes sense. You know? Yeah. So let's go to relationship for those of you who are in a space of relationship. You know, for example, I do have a friend of mine who she's a double Scorpio. She's Sun and Rising, and she's Reiki practitioner. She's a master Reiki practitioner, and she has had a very thriving, successful business in person. And all of a sudden, it's like, right, to a complete halt, right? But now she's going to start doing distant Reiki. So she figured out a different path. And she was working with the doctor's office, and obviously they're not going to keep her on because of everything that's going on. So there's like wonky energy going on there. So, you know, as I was just sweeping the cards, I was thinking about her, like, yeah, she's trying to figure out how to do it differently, you know, do it online, do distance Reiki healing. So, you know, hopefully that works out for her. All right, so now for the relationship, I'm going to be doing past, present, future, and then some qualifiers here. Okay. So your past, Nine of Cups, wish fulfillment, Ace of Swords. Truth, truth, truth. Well, first let's talk about the Nine of Cups. Beautiful. Who doesn't like some wish fulfillment energy, for goodness sake, right? Some Jupiter and Pisces. Beautiful combination. Very nice. Ace of Swords. Ace is always something new. When we have swords, we're talking about communication. We're talking about truth, right? So something became very illuminated. Some sort of truth came out. Okay, so you were in this relationship, you know, feeling very, very connected, very connected. Then this Ace of Swords energies, the reality of the situation came out. Some sort of truth became illuminated. Okay, some sort of truth was offered to you. And then we have the Empress energy. So the Empress energy in reverse, well, the Empress in the upright, well, the Empress period she's the mother of the tarot, right? She's perpetually pregnant. And this is about, you know, think about what that means, right? And, you know, a woman becomes pregnant and then it's the baby has to be nurtured, right? Sort of cultivated for 9 months and then it's birth. So it's not like a quick energy, you know what I mean? But it's this constant progression forward and producing, right? Now, in the reverse, this can indicate the opposite of that, where there's not this forward movement, this forward growth. This can also indicate, that's the idea of what it expresses, right, within relationship. But this can also indicate somebody who is just not showing up at the table, right, who is just not showing up in the relationship. This could indicate somebody like, for example, just like letting their house go, letting their responsibilities go, just sort of giving up on the idea of responsibility within the relationship. Maybe even within life in general. Maybe they were struggling with depression. Maybe they had some sort of addiction issue. You know, whatever it is, some sort of imbalance would incite the Empress to be reverse. But regardless of what it is, you know, you're going to apply to your life as it is. I'm getting that, you know, you were with in this relationship where it really was like your wish fulfillment, but then something came to light and you're realizing that there wasn't going to be this forward movement in the way that you really, at least at one point, envisioned, at least what you thought, right, at one point. Now, right now, currently, we're dealing with the Devil energy, so that really does align with the Empress here. Why don't we talk about that first? The Devil energy is where imbalance hangs out, any kind of imbalance. So it could be addiction, having to do with drugs, alcohol, gambling, sex, some sort of eating disorder, narcissistic tendencies, incredible anxiety, high depression, you know, fear of intimacy, fear of the abandonment, you know, any area where there is imbalance, right? Now, this could be you, it could be the energy that you're dealing with, right? But whatever it is, this imbalance is sort of putting, it's not putting, it's almost like this third entity within the relationship, right? Then we have the Temperance energy, which I really like this. This is the card of negotiating, right? This is an alchemical card. It's about recognizing what you need and what your partner needs and what the relationship needs in order to move forward and in order to heal, right? Because this is a Sagittarius energy, and Sagittarius is all about moving forward with integrity, right? And it's blessed by Jupiter, right? Because Jupiter is Sagittarius ruler. So I feel like there's going to be some discussion here about what the balances are in the relationship, which is really, really great. And there's going to be this sort of negotiation. I don't know how better to say it, but it's towards healing and towards moving forward. Beautiful. And then we have the Queen of Cups. Love it. Gemini and Cancer energy. So, you know, Gemini is ruled by Mercury. It's about communication. It rules that third house of communication, and Cancer rules that fourth house of home. And this is about safety and being in that metaphorical home space, right? And Cancer is love, right? Cancer is love, and Cancer is I feel. So really beautiful. So right now, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising of Venus, I feel like you guys are in a space of really very actively working something out, I'd say. But this Devil energy is something that needs to be paid attention to for sure. So again, it doesn't have to mean alcohol, drugs, or anything like that. You know, who's struggling with high anxiety right now? Many people. Who's struggling with depression? Many people. So there needs to be a lot of empathy exercised in this union right now, Scorpio, whether it's that you need it or you need to give it or you guys need to give it to each other. So in the future, we have the Knight of Cups here in the reverse. So there's a holding back of energy here. So Aquarius and Pisces energy. So when we have Aquarius, it's about doing something different. And in the reverse, it's like something is not going to be any different than the way it's been. And that's something that needs to be looked at. All right, that definitely needs to be looked at, because when we have the Eight of Coins in reverse, and this is a Sun and Virgo energy. Virgo is about, first of all, this could have to do with money, because the money can certainly inflect a relationship. I think we can all agree to that. So this could certainly be that there's an issue with money at play here, because the Sun in Virgo, where if money is an issue, if money's not coming in, and you're having a really hard time troubleshooting how to bring more money into the relationship, this could definitely be an issue that you guys are dealing with. Okay, absolutely. This could also be, though, because Virgo is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury from an alchemical perspective, again, is about this transmuting into something other, right? Forward moving, this progression forward, right? So, and ideas, maybe you not being able to figure out how to move things forward in a different way. But I am feeling very strong that money is an issue here, with something being able to be moved forward. But then look what we have. We have the Ace of Coins. This is beautiful. So this could very well be either a new cycle for you guys, where there's mental, emotional, physical connection. This can also be, if money is an issue, a new job being offered, and that being or money coming in from some sort of avenue. It really doesn't matter how. This could happen from an inheritance, some sort of insurance payout, right? It could be those 8th house energies, or this could just be from you getting a new job, your partner getting a new job, whatever it is. But I do like it, because it's this new mental, emotional, and physical kind of connection and support, right? And money falls within the purview of that as well. So let's look at the clarifiers that we have going on here. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, this makes sense to me. Let's start with the Seven of Coins energy. So this is a Saturn and Taurus energy, right? Seven of Coins is about really having put in that hard work and things coming to fruition now, where you're really getting going on that next cycle in your life. And the Seven of Coins, in reverse, this tells me that, money is an issue. I'm going to say it again. I feel it very strongly for this sign, where you guys are having a hard time. You're having a hard time moving into this next phase of your life because of money. Either it's because you're very worried about money, you're not sure of what this next cycle is going to bring. It's this lack of clarity when it comes to money. I do feel like that. And because of that, there's going to be these feelings inflected having to do with the way you guys connect emotionally, physically, and mentally because of money. I feel like this is going to be a play here, and it's something that's going to need to be looked at. Oh, the Princess of Wands, yeah, because this indicates delay. Delay, right? Scorpio and Sagittarius. Scorpio's being ruled by, you guys being ruled by Pluto. It's about, the ending of a cycle and the beginning of another one, and you not being able to see your way forward in that. So it's this waiting. I feel like this waiting is going to be happening here in the relationship at this point. Waiting for something to iron itself out, having to do with money, career, anything like that, insurance payout, some sort of settlement. It could be any of those things, right? It could be any of those things. And then the Four of Cups energy, there's restlessness is setting in here for sure. Four of Cups is a very restless energy. It's pulling out that checklist card, and it's really identifying, like, I'm not happy with this, this, and this, and because of that, and that, I don't, and it's looking for things. And I feel, Scorpio, that a lot of it has to do with just the high energy and the high tension and pressure that a lot of people are feeling right now, because of the situation that's going on in the world. You just want to be very mindful of that. You don't want to accept somebody projecting their stuff onto you, and you certainly don't want to do that to your partner, where, you're in the space of looking for stuff, for picking at things, picking. Now, you might be very justified in picking, you know what I mean? Like if you're with somebody who's out of work and they're doing absolutely nothing proactively about, figuring out a new normal, really trying to get on top of things. I mean, you know what I'm saying? But we have the Ace of Cups here. So I'm feeling good about this because we have the Ace of Coins and the Ace of Cups. So we have these two aces, which are, it's a really beautiful. When we get two aces together, this is a very supportive energy. So I feel like the wonkiness that you guys are going to be dealing with are really more communication based and frustration. And I feel like the frustration more than anything, is going to have to do with money. And I feel like the situation with money may be causing some sort of depression that's going to cause somebody to not show up in the relationship in the way that they normally would. And this is turning out to be an issue within the relationship. But I feel like once this new normal sort of turns around, this next cycle comes to bear, things are going to start working out. So guys, please don't end any relationship that you're in right now. Those of you are going to know if you're resonating with this. If you're in the space of what I'm expressing right now, please don't end the relationship yet, because understand that, you know, Venus is going to be shadow this first week, then go in retrograde mid-month, and it's not going to be going direct and totally out of shadow until the end of June. So just hang in there, because things are not totally reality is not what it seems right now. And whatever's happening right now is not going to last. Okay? I hope that helped. All right, Scorpio, thank you so much for joining me. You guys take care. Stay safe, stay healthy. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.